Hey guys, Mel the Terrain Tutor here with another one of our Terrain Essential vlogs. Yes, my ongoing documentation of writing the book. Now, obviously I'm in the studio, it is Monday morning, it's a bank holiday here, which means pretty much the entire country is off, except me, because I'm in the place where I love. Yeah, I'm in the studio, I'm working on some terrain. I'm not actually working on the book today. Well, I am. Yeah, this week's section and next week's section is very much the materials sections. Yeah, I've got 18 pages roughly to write. And yeah, I can do it. It's not a problem at all or anything like that. But one of the jobs I've got to do is bullet point down what I actually want in those sections. So I always, one of the things that I'm going to be doing over the next couple of days whilst I'm in the studio is I'm going to actually be detailing down and bullet pointing those out. So when we get to the tail end of the week and I get to my writing days, yeah, I can sit down and I already know what I need to put on the pages, just need to flesh it out. So that's the battle plan. But I'm in the studio today because I want to play with little tanks like that, my little Sherman. Yeah, yes, I'm doing my bolt action stuff and I am working on roads today. So there'll probably be a video coming rather soon on my big Burma build and roads and tracks, but that's what I'm working on today. So I'm just going to get cracked on with this. Probably the next video you see will be tomorrow, to be perfectly honest. Well, the next clip will be tomorrow. Yeah, I might throw some photos in, show you how far I got. Anyway, cracking on time. So Mel was a busy boy yesterday. Now, I'll be honest with you, I didn't get that far with the terrain making, but you can find out about that on the big Burma build. Mel broke before the terrain did. Yeah, but on a positive side, my aim for the book yesterday was just to get into the studio, start bullet pointing things that I want in the materials section. So I got distracted by the terrain and didn't really do that much on that side. So when I got home, I felt really guilty. Yeah, and I couldn't sleep. Not because I was feeling guilty, I just couldn't sleep. So I just sat down in front of the computer. And I've knocked out the page on brushes. Yeah, I bullet pointed up the introduction to the materials and tools section, which is like the general introduction. And then there's a bit about the essential stuff, the bare essentials. Yeah, and then I've detailed up the next page, which is all the cutters and all the other sort of more specialist tools and that sort of stuff. And I've started to nail down the pages after that where we go into paints and glues and stuff like that. So I wasn't supposed to actually start writing until Wednesday night. And I'm already one page down, and next 2 pages bullet pointed, enough that I've got a couple of bullet points per paragraph. So I just need to turn bullet points into sentences and, get that down, which I could probably crack on with tonight, to be truthful. Yeah, so going into Wednesday when I will be planning to start the book, I should technically have already done 2.5 pages. Now that's a good sign because it means this section is being easier to write, and it's a lot easier than the planning section. The planning section was a lot of, what about, what's the best way of, whereas the tools and materials is very much like, you haven't missed anything, have you? Go and check. Just double check you haven't missed anything. I mean, it was like late at night, I detailed out all the sort of cutting tools and metal tools and that sort of stuff. And I was sitting there feeling quite confident, and my eyes drifted down on my desk and spotted my cutters, my clippers, and I suddenly realised, you completely forgot all of those. Now the reason for that's quite simple. If you come around here, here is my tool rack. Now what I've done is when I was looking at my cutter tools and all that sort of stuff, they're typically in these cups here. So I've gone along and then checked all these. My clippers I keep up here. So here, clippers and grippers. And so I'd looked down there, I've gone all those, gone home, been really confident, I've got this nailed. And then it was like, saw those and realised, as I was looking at the tools, I hadn't looked up. And sort of, there's all that lot as well. So, that was a little bit of a learning point for me. It was like, right, double check, because this is going to be one of those sections where, in the planning section, if I'd missed a little bit, because people would turn around and go, well, you could have talked about that. In the materials, if I'd missed clippers, Can you imagine the grief I'd have got online? It'd be the new palm trees. There'd be clippers everywhere. Yeah, I'd never live it down. So the materials and the tools one is going to be very much more challenging in the sense of I've got to make sure I cover all of them. I don't, by some silly mistake, miss a section. So I'm back in. I've got my notes. I'm doing lots of bullet points today and tomorrow while I'm in the studio. So fingers crossed we'll get this nailed. Now I need to crack on with terrain. So I'll let you know how that process goes in tomorrow's clip. So it's actually Thursday, not Wednesday. I missed a day. The plan was to vlog at the end of the day. The reason being is that on Wednesdays at 9 PM I have a Skype call with Dave. Yeah, and it was to catch up on the planning section. And so I was holding off vlogging until I got to that bit. And just so I could include what it was in the vlog. And it didn't go so well. Actually, it went really well. But the writing didn't go so well. There was a part in the planning section that, because everything's I've detailed everything by pages. I'm sort of writing page by page, and I had to sort of fit it onto a page. I had to leave stuff out, and the flow didn't work, and I knew this, yeah, because I wanted to tell Dave I wanted to rewrite it a bit, see if we could expand it, and he came back and said, yeah, it needs rewriting. It doesn't work, it doesn't flow like the rest of them, which is what I knew, which was perfectly fine. But it was the first point I've been asked to rewrite something. Now, at the same time, yeah, I was in the process of reviewing what I'd written for the materials, the start of the materials. I was planning out the next few pages on the materials. On top of that, I got the Burma build, vlogs, usual channel stuff, still catching up after Adepticon on emails and that sort of stuff. Pardon me. And so I got a bit overwhelmed by it all. Yeah, and I sat down and I had a chat with Kerry, and we sort of come to the conclusion that what I need to do is not treat the book as lots of jobs, but treat it as one job at a time and just work through it rather than having so many things on the go. And I've mulled it over today and that sort of stuff, and I think it's a good plan. So the plan is I'm well ahead of where I should be. Okay, so I've got time, so I'm going to step back, and for the rest of this week, i.e. today, tomorrow, yeah, and a bit over the weekend, I'm just going to concentrate on the bit of the planning section I need to rewrite. Just get it done, get it so I'm happy with it, and then move on. Now, something else came up. As I've said, I've been planning by, very much, I'm working on my Burma roads. Yeah, I've been planning very much on the idea of sections and pages. And Dave pointed out that's all very well and good for sort of watching, how many words you've got to cover for a certain thing. But with every section, and if I do it like that, then I have to introduce it, I have to close it on each page, which is going to constrict my pages. Also, sections tend to have more graphical headers, which takes up more. So where I'm feeling like I'm struggling for words, the words are there, it's just because I'm putting them in so many little mini segments and sections that they're getting cramped. So what he sort of said is let him do his job, which is laying out. So instead of doing it in sections, I'm approaching it as more of a flow. Yeah, here's the start of the major, section. It's going to take up 6 pages, 12 pages, 18 pages, however many. But just flow through it and then let Dave lay it out as needs be. Okay? And I think I need to trust him. Yeah. I also come to the first realization that Dave's editing my words. Now, that's what he's supposed to do. That's his job. Okay, and I knew he was going to do it, and I know that once he's done it, it's going off to copy editing for a professional copy editor to look at it and make sure it's right. Yeah, but even so, ever since I've started this terrain tutor stuff, what the final product has been, yeah, whether it be video, Facebook post, yeah, anything like that, it's always been under my control. And the idea that, it isn't under my control was a bit Ooh, you know what I mean? That was a little bit of a, ooh, how do you feel about that? Yeah. And I feel good because Dave's damn good at his job. And I know, yeah, after reading what he did with the warping, that he is just cleaning up my language, the message, the context. You know, even the comedy elements are still there. He's just doing what he does, which is words. I do terrain, he does words. He's an editor. You know, it's his like he's done it all his life near enough. And he's good at it. So I need to trust him with that. So far this week, I've got into the materials, but I've decided to put it off, yeah, and approach that next week with a more laid-back planning, an overall approach, and a more of a flow. This week, I'm going to go back, I'm going to nail the scales so I can move on, yeah, much happier with it, and it's not in the back of my mind. I've still got channel jobs to do, I've still got all my Facebook stuff to do and all my social media. That's a never-ending hamster wheel, to be perfectly honest. That's just work, yeah. And I'm not dissing it, you know, I'm living the dream, guys, you know what I mean? So it's just the dream job isn't always just about making terrain and rolling dice if you ever get a chance. Yeah, there's the mundane elements as well. So I've got editing tonight and stuff like that. But get the Burma Bill cracking on because I'm enjoying this. Yeah, but with the book, focus on one thing at a time. Yeah, and put all my energy in that rather than being distracted over a lot of things. So that's where I am right now. I think the best thing is for me to crack on with my Burma bits. Yeah, and I think the next bit of this vlog is probably going to be quite late tomorrow night because I'm sitting down tomorrow night to actually write. And I'm planning out and I'm reviewing what I've written tonight, and tomorrow night I'm sitting down and writing what I've got to produce. Yeah, and so, yeah, you'll know how that's turned out just after this swish. See you in a sec. So it's Saturday night. In fact, it's 6 minutes from being Sunday morning. Okay, it's almost midnight here in the UK, and what a couple of days. Now the idea was that I was gonna rewrite the scale section and record this on Friday night, wrapping it up. Scale section went really well, yeah, but I invested some time into it, today, and just working on the flow and things like that, and it's come out really nice. Now, after Dave asked me to rewrite it, yeah, he wanted me to re-bullet point it, include all the stuff that I felt that I'd missed out and I couldn't include because of page space and stuff like that, and word counts. So I did, and I just forgot the word counts and I just cracked on with it. Yeah, and I wrote everything I wanted. And then at the end, yeah, I cleaned it up a bit. Yeah, it's had 3 read-throughs and revisions by me alone. Yeah, but I did a quick clean up first. Did the word count? It's less than the first one, although it's got more in it. And I discovered that last night. And I had to get both documents and go back and sort of check that I hadn't missed a section out. Because what I did is I re-bullet pointed it, and then I went through the original document, got the bits that I really liked, and sort of pulled those over. Yeah, and then sort of filled the gaps, if you know what I mean. And it just came out a much better document. But I think the learning point from this, and from a couple of factors. One, the amount of jobs and things on my mind, not just with the channel, catching up with all the stuff from Adepticon, there's still that going on. Keeping up with social media and you know, keeping the channel stuff going. Dealing with a couple of hiccups with my Burma build, but that's just terrain in it. But on top of that, having the fact that I was at the start of the week, I'd finished this scales, not the scale section. I'd finished the planning section. I'm calling it scales, yeah, because it's because it's the scale plan section. I've just kept calling it scales. But anyway, it's not scales. That's got to be done. But anyway, having that, I thought I got that done, but yeah, I was in the middle of bullet pointing up at various bits in the materials section, which is the next one, and also writing that. And then when Dave asked me to do the I just had too many jobs. Yeah, so one learning point from this week has been one job at a time when it comes to the book. Yeah. I think that's the way to go, because I think having multiple things going on with the book whilst I'm doing catch up as well, yeah, is a little bit challenging, and it's I'm more distracted. Yeah, pardon me. I'm more distracted by jumping between things. Yeah. And so although I'm handling more, I'm not making the progress. Or what I've realised is, by pushing and focusing on one task, I can produce far better work. Yeah, and that's clear from the rewrite. The other thing that I've learned this week is Dave spent a little bit of time sort of educating me in the ways and the skills of layout, and very much to make me understand that even if we do go over a page, it's not lost space. We can use that space in other ways, and yeah, we can lay things out, and reinforcing the fact that we do have wiggle room specifically for this purpose, so I can write where I want to write. So I've become a lot more relaxed about word counts and pages. Yeah, especially after the rewrite coming in less. I think that's taught me that it's It's taught me that when I was writing the scale plan section, I was very conscious of word counts. And it's taught me by just focusing on writing where I want to write, I can actually do it in less words because I'm more focused on what I'm trying to get across. So that's a big lesson this week with regards to being, a writer, an author. And I'm getting better. I'm picking up a couple of little grammar bits as I go, little things like that. And I'm realising when I see, I'm seeing things and bits in the language where I know, right, let's clean that up before it's even suggested to be cleaned up or anything like that. I'm getting a lot better at reviewing my language. Now, there was a lot of worry off the back of the last vlog about whether me reviewing it too much would make it too clinical. And it isn't, okay? It is more practical than our normal chats and that sort of stuff and my normal teaching method, but it has to be because of the space limitations. But we've countered that by including various elements such as the intro, the outros of each segment, various things in the segments, you know what I mean? Little snippets and stuff like that I've done very much in my style, yeah, and in my language and in a far more relaxed way. Yeah, so the essence of Mel is still very much there, yeah, but it doesn't get in the way of getting over the practical stuff. Now, I reckon this is pretty good, yeah, but the litmus test is going to be, it's going to be hopefully this week coming up. You see, the pledge manager, and this is fingers crossed, nothing is guaranteed until, we know what's going on, but hopefully the pledge manager should be open this week, yeah. Until it's confirmed on Kickstarter, it's just me rambling, just to make that clear. I should make that a little running statement under every video. Yeah, unless it's on Kickstarter in black and white, yeah, nothing's guaranteed. But anyway, Pledge Manager should be open this week, and as part of that we're also releasing the warping text, the 4 pages on fighting warping and dealing with warping in terrain, as a sample text for you guys to see what the book's actually like and how it'll read and how it's laid out and that sort of stuff, and also for us to get feedback on it, and for me to get feedback on my writing. And so, You'll get a feel of how the book's laid out then. I'm interested in seeing next vlog. I will make sure there's a link down below to all the relevant stuff. But keep an eye on my Facebook page. If you're on Kickstarter, keep an eye for the updates and all that sort of stuff. In the meantime, I'm waiting to hear back from Dave. So hopefully over the next day or two, I'll hear back what he thinks of the rewrite. And I need to get stuck into the materials and solve a couple of problems with my Burma board. But that's terrain. Righty-ho, it is midnight for sure now, so I'm going to call it. Right, as usual, guys, yeah, links on the screen to all the good stuff. What you call it? Catch up on videos there. If you like this sort of stuff and you like what I'm doing with the channel, remember the patrons there and that sort of stuff. And as always, yeah, links down below if you want to support. In the meantime, guys, I'll catch you at the next vlog. All the best, yeah. Ta.